Welcome to day 3 of intraday market focus. And of course today we're concentrating on different pairs or indexes such as your Nasdaq, US30 and just DAX30. That's what we're going to be breaking down, and I'm just going to do a quick recap of yesterday's live sessions. As I promised, many of you who are watching, they did actually play out up to the T, so I'm very excited to show you that. And of course we're gonna show you new setups that are gonna take place today, so you do make sure that you watch till the end and take advantage of whatever that we're doing in this episode, and also engage in the comment section. What do you see, what do you feel, what you analyze on your side, if it's contrary to what I'm actually analyzing? Okay, so let's discuss in the comment section, and I'm just gonna jump straight to the screen. Okay, so we are on Nasdaq right now on the 15 minutes time frame, as you can see, and this is the setup that I gave out yesterday during the live session. For those of you who are not joined in, go back to watch that live session. You will see that what I predicted was absolutely taking place in this setup. The only thing that did not happen is that the market did not mitigate this supply over here and go back down. It just rather slowly, or rather retested it, just as I draw this diagram. So this was a possibility that I spoke about yesterday, to say the market took liquidity and it's like now about to take off, which was this move, and it can actually pull back and retest the fair value gap, and that's what it did over here, retesting a fair value gap. Let's just see, there we go, there was a fair value gap there, and the market went further up. So this sketch, if you remember, I did actually draw that out, but today we're going to deal with some new stuff over here. But let's go to US30 quickly, then we can also recap. US30 was just amazing. Look at that. I mean, that supply, I think we draw it on a 5 minutes time frame, where the market spiked into the supply over here. Many people were saying buys. I was quite concrete on sells, right? I was quite concrete on sells, so I did take sells and scalped it all the way to the spike. Once the market started going back up, I was kicked out of the break even. Then the market started selling again. I sold when it started to close off this spike over here, and then sold all the way here. I took profit here because of this demand level. Of course, this demand level was slightly respected as a retracement, and the market sold even more, but I was out of the market by then, in terms of it was actually at night. So this was happening. Of course, there was another demand here that we're looking at on the 4-hourly. It did hold slightly. As you can see, the market is a bit slightly bullish, so we'll investigate all of that today. Okay, so I'm going to remove all of these drawings over here, and then we're going to get straight into business. Thank you so much for joining me on yet another episode, guys. I do really appreciate, as much as I am consistent, I do appreciate you guys coming in and watching each and every day. This channel wouldn't be anything without you guys, so I really do appreciate each and every single one of you. And of course, just before we can analyze, we are doing a special or a promotion for our advanced trading course, including our mentorship private community Discord, which is just 50% off our cost. So it's gonna end on the 30th of June, so everybody is most welcome to come and join us on the discounted fee. It's just only a one-time investment on your end that's really gonna uplift you in terms of your knowledge and your journey in trading. So go ahead, contact the admin with the numbers on the screen or in the description of this video. Okay, let's jump on to the Nasdaq over here. I'm gonna go all the way to the daily time frame. We need to understand what the market is clearly doing over here. And as I said yesterday, I was still on the bearish side, but I was like, it doesn't mean that we cannot get a pullback, and literally the market actually pulled back for us. And I see a thing that can actually happen here, where the market can actually pull into this fair value gap over here and actually sell from then on. I mean, it's quite really obvious to the eye that what the market is doing. So I'm gonna leave that as something quite important that you need to pay attention to within your own chart. Okay, so that fair value gap, we do actually see it. Let me just stretch it all the way over here, zoom in for those who are using phones. and we can see that there's liquidity over here. I just want to see, we'll get to the move that I expect to happen today. Liquidity, and I do expect that the market can actually be bullish into this fair value gap and then sell from then on, creating lower lows. That's what I expect. In fact, we can also see that this fair value gap is attached to a breaker right here, so definitely it's a very good confluence in terms of trading this overall. So we can see a breaker and a fair value gap. The market can actually come into that area. We do have a change of character, so finally the market did actually just sweep. We do have temporary change of characters, which was this lower high over here, so it can also qualify as a change of character over here. But the lower high that initiated this whole upward movement was this, even though it did have this pullback. So we can still stick to this being a change of character because it was a higher low. Okay, let's go to all the way to a H1 time frame. This can still be relevant today, that it can take place today. In fact, during New York we may actually get that mitigation happening because now it's pre-London session. So as you can see, I'm predicting buys. I'm predicting buys for this. Let me just put a Fibonacci over here. We can take it from the bottom all the way to the top. Let me come back there and let's take it to the top. Let's see, there we go. Okay, so we can see this is directly, let me stretch it all the way here. This is directly, there we go. So this is directly within the premium market. I'm not sure if it does display on your screens, but from the 0 all the way to the 50, this is the premium markets over here, and this is within a very good sweet spot in terms of selling within this premium market. So I'm very excited for that. What I may want to do, of course, at least if we can get a pullback to a small demand over here, and then we can get to actually buy from then on, expecting it to pull into this areas. I hope you do understand this trade setup. Okay, but overall I'm looking forward to taking sales on Nasdaq for today. Okay, let's go to US30. Quite interesting. That's why I now want to include it, because we do trade it within our live session. So, and as you can see, it's quite the opposite of what Nasdaq does. There's not much correlation. Oh, let me take away this. There's not much correlation that happens between Nasdaq and US30, but let's go ahead and just break it down over here. I do see, first and foremost, I do see this demand over here that we do have. It does also have a zone over there that stretches across. We also do have a fair value gap in this case, where we do have this whole fair value gap that the market can actually come back into. So I want to really more investigate that before I can actually label it and decide. Okay, so the fair value gap is also quite relevant to what we have on Nasdaq, but it's just the opposite in this case, where we can actually expect buys. Okay, it's a breaker, so as you can see, in a fair value gap. So definitely the market is quite near that fair value gap, where the market can actually come back into these areas. It can actually use just the top of this demand area. When I get a lot of demand area that has a fair value gap like this, I usually just mark it as well, and I'll place my stop loss just below it, and the entry will be just like this, you know. So something of that sort, where the market comes back and touches just the tip of that demand within the fair value gap as well, and the market takes off. So that's what I see overall taking place on this US30. Is it gonna be today? Let's just try to investigate that in terms of, or rather prediction, if as far as it's concerned. Okay, we do have sort of a supply over here that the market can actually use in order to start selling. Once it breaks these lows, then I can be sure that we actually can retest those lows and still go a bit further, then go up. Okay, so that's my prediction over there. DAX30, I'm trying to run as fast as we can. I don't want this video to be too long. Let's go to DAX30 over here. In fact, let's go to the daily here. That's what we want to see. Okay, on the daily, we can clearly see that DAX30 was actually still in an uptrend. It did not break this higher low here that was given off by the market. It actually retested that as a demand. There we go. So I do really, by looking at it, I do anticipate it to still go back up. We are approaching this big supply over here, but it has not really set into that supply as of yet. But let's investigate that as well. Okay, I'm on a market. Let's go to the 4H. We can also see a bit of liquidity there. It can actually really correlate with Nasdaq so much in terms of this. I also do see a fair value gap within this. Let me just see if that fair value gap is relevant. No, we don't have a fair value gap on the daily. Let's go to the H1. Yep. So within that supply, we also do have a fair value gap as well that we do see over here, where we can actually see the market that it can be really attracted to that point and then actually just sell off into these areas here. Okay, so that's my prediction on DAX, is that we can actually get the market be bullish during London. During New York is that we can start expecting sells. Let me know what you see on your side in the comment section. Please be descriptive about which pair you're talking about which time frames you are saying your bias is on, and definitely I will comment back and answer back on those comments. And definitely guys, 50% off our mentorship that's running till the 30th of June 2024. So do get that for yourself if you really want to level up in trading overall. See you during the London session. God bless you.